Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer, where today we're unpacking a massive tectonic shift happening right now in the world of search and digital content. Look, if you've been monitoring your traffic lately, you've probably noticed something pretty wild going on in 2026. AI search engines are suddenly taking all our tried and true content strategies and just throwing them completely out the window. They're aggressively favoring highly unique sources and leaving those traditional comprehensive guides completely in the dust. So today, we're going to decode exactly why that's happening and how you can adapt.
To start unraveling this mystery, we really have to ask ourselves one foundational, provocative question. Think about it. You search for a topic on an AI-driven engine, and boom, it synthesizes a beautiful conversational answer. But why do these AI models handpick a very specific set of pages as their sources while completely ignoring hundreds of other highly authoritative pages? Like, what exactly is the invisible selection criteria in 2026?
Now, what's really interesting about this scenario is the paradox content creators are facing right now. Imagine we have two articles targeting the exact same keyword. Both are extremely well written, both hit exactly 2,000 words, both have great backlinks. And yet, Article A sits at position 2 and gets heavily cited by Gemini, ChatGPT, and Google's AI Overviews. Meanwhile, Article B is stuck at position 14, basically a complete ghost to those exact same AI engines. I can tell you right now, the deciding factor here isn't their grammar, it's not their keyword density, and it's not even their overall domain authority. It is something much more specific.
The absolute secret separating these two articles is a concept called information gain. Basically, information gain is a scoring mechanism that measures how much completely new, non-redundant information a specific page adds compared to everything else the user or the search engine has already seen on that exact topic. And this is the absolute crucial part to understand. Information gain is a relative score. It is not an absolute one. It's not some fixed metric permanently baked into your content the second you hit publish. No, your score is entirely dependent on what the other 10 articles in the search results are already saying.
Now, this concept might sound like a brand new fad driven by modern chatbots, but it's actually been brewing for quite a while. Back in 2018, Google filed a patent officially titled Contextual Estimation of Link Information Gain. It got published in 2020 and was officially granted by the USPTO in 2022. So while Google obviously guards their live ranking mechanisms like they're the nuclear codes, the underlying logic of this patent perfectly matches the behavior we are observing right now in 2026's AI-driven search dominance. Ultimately, it's a method that rewards novel contributions and actively penalizes duplication.
Section 1. How the algorithm thinks. Scoring information gain.
Okay, let's pull back the curtain and demystify the back end here. The scoring essentially follows a four-step process. First, the system builds a comparison set, basically the corpus of documents it already knows about for a topic. Second, it extracts the actual information from those documents. And remember, it's not counting words here. It is actively identifying specific facts, claims, and relationships. Third, it takes your candidate document and compares it against that extracted baseline. Finally, step 4, it assigns a score based entirely on your net new contribution. What this means for us is that padding your article with clever synonyms won't trick the system for a second. But adding just one genuinely new, verified data point, that absolutely will.
Section 2. The AI synthesis problem. Why unique sources win. To really understand why unique sources win, try thinking of an AI engine like someone trying to facilitate a highly informative conversation. It generates answers by merging sources together. So if it finds 10 sources that say the exact same thing, 9 of them are completely useless to it. It establishes the baseline fact with the first one, and then it actively hunts for a new layer, a new angle, or a fresh statistic to complete the summary. And guys, adapting to this synthesis model is incredibly urgent. As of February 2026, AI Overviews appeared on roughly 48% of tracked queries. That means almost half the time a user asks a question, an AI is synthesizing the answer using this exact preference for unique information. If you aren't providing net new value, you simply aren't going to be part of that 48%.
Section 3. Shattering old paradigms. Length versus true value. So the crucial point is, we need to aggressively myth-bust the outdated SEO advice from a few years ago that long, sprawling, comprehensive content always wins.
When you break down how these factors actually stack up today, the results are wild. Content length. A massive study of over 500,000 AI overviews found essentially zero correlation between word count and citation position. Literally none. More words simply do not mean better rankings anymore.
Information gain, however, is a direct, resounding yes. Net new, non-redundant info wins. Period. And EEAT, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, that is now demonstrated indirectly by providing that original data in the first place. Let me be very, very clear about this. A focused 1,500-word article featuring just one completely original dataset will completely obliterate a 4,000-word article that just summarizes what everyone else has already published.
Section 4. The citation battlefield, a winner-take-all market.
We've got to look at the data-driven reality here, because the level of concentration is honestly staggering. In a recent study of 1,000 AI overviews, the top 1% of cited domains, which by the way was literally just 12 websites, captured 47% of all citations. The next 9% captured 31%. That leaves the remaining 90% of sites fighting over a measly 22% of the citations. This proves, without a doubt, that trying to compete on sheer volume or comprehensive summaries against giants like Wikipedia is a guaranteed losing strategy. You absolutely have to compete on unique contributions.
And to make things even more complex, AI citation is incredibly volatile and platform-specific right now. A massive analysis found that only 11% of domains were cited by both ChatGPT and Perplexity. They don't even agree. Furthermore, a longitudinal study showed that after just 6 weeks, only 10.6% of citations remain cited across the platforms. It is a constantly moving target. You don't just win a citation and keep it forever. You keep it until someone else comes along and publishes something with higher information gain.
Section 5. The Mastery Playbook, increasing your information gain. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual strategy you can use today. Okay, so we've covered the theory and the data. Now it is time to open up the playbook and fix that stagnant content. Here is your new workflow. First, you absolutely must audit the existing top 10 search results before you type a single word. What they're saying is your floor, not your outline. Next, start mining the data you already have: support tickets, sales calls, your own analytics. Third, add a named, verifiable point of view. Generic expert tips just don't cut it anymore. Fourth, run small original research. Honestly, even just a poll of your email list counts. And finally, when you go back to update old pages, don't just change the publish date. You have to update them with substantive, corrected, or genuinely new factual claims.
You're also going to want to lean heavily into formats that naturally generate high information gain right out of the gate. We're talking original research where the data exists nowhere else on the internet. We're talking documented case studies with real, tangible outcomes. First-hand process guides detailing exactly how you achieve something, named expert Q&As, and contrarian evidence-based takes that directly address and dismantle industry myths. Honestly, generic definitional content like a basic "What is SEO" page, it rarely makes the cut for citations anymore, simply because it offers zero new gain to the AI's existing knowledge graph.
Now I have to warn you against the most common and, honestly, the most critical mistake content teams are making right now. Just rewriting the top 3 results in your own words does not work anymore. All that does is produce original phrasing. It does not produce original substance. Remember how the algorithm thinks? AI parses for facts, claims, and relationships. It genuinely doesn't care about your unique combination of vocabulary words. If the core facts are exactly the same, your information gain score is literally 0.
Which brings us to the ultimate test. I want to conclude this explainer by challenging you to do something today. Pull your top 20 organic pages, look at the competing results, and ask yourself this exact provocative question. What does my page say that theirs doesn't? If you can't answer that in one clear, definitive sentence, you've found your gap. Fill it, and you'll unlock the secret to AI citations. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Go start auditing those pages, and I'll catch you next time as we continue decoding the future of digital knowledge.